personally found it
COPD makes it hard to breathe. I go with a
It is time for us to begin. I've been watching the chat in the chat session here, and y'all are doing a great job of communicating with each other as we go. And David has asked a question, and I will make sure that before we get finished, we will discuss that. So, and David, by the way, glad you made it through Irma as well. Okay, introduce yourself. Let us know that you're here. I'm Eric. I am coming to you from beautiful downtown Huntsville, Alabama. One of the most gorgeous days of our fall. Beautiful weather here today. So good to have you all on. So first of all, we have David from Southern Florida, and we're really glad you made it through the hurricane. We have Gloria from Oregon, Al from Chattanooga. I get through Chattanooga every once in a while. Al, we should have a cup of coffee maybe. We have Jan from Belgium. We have Jean from North Illinois. I have Beth from Central Florida. And we have John from Tennessee. We have a large contingency from Tennessee that comes on the webinars occasionally, so good. And Thomas from Washington State today. Hopefully you're getting some rain in Washington State and putting some of those fires out. That would be good. We have Ken from Chicago. We have John from Norway. Good to have you, John. We have Thierry from France. And so once again, as always, have a great worldwide audience. We have Mark from Virginia, James from Pascagoula, Mississippi. Went to college with a guy who was from Pascagoula, Mississippi. I'll never forget that name, that town for that reason. Anybody else want to introduce themselves this morning? We're so glad you're on with us, and hopefully this will be a great use of your time this morning, and we're looking forward to being able to share some things with you. Gloria and I are. Gloria is our support person, and she's on the webinars with me on Friday, and she comes in so that any tech questions, any questions that you might ask will get noted, and I don't forget them before we get finished because we want our webinars to be very interactive. We have Frank from Fort Worth and we have Colin from Lancaster. So good crowd of people today, but keep this in mind. Gloria does a great job of keeping track of the questions, but you can make it easier for her if you'll precede the comment or the question with 3 question marks or 3 capital Qs. That way, it's easy for us to identify that. And many people are getting that, and I'm seeing that more and more all the time. Sometimes you forget, and I know, but if you do, then just in order for this to be a really good experience, we don't want to ignore anyone's questions. That's not our intention. But, excuse me, but on this platform, we don't have the ability to be able to identify that in red like we did on the previous platform. Everything else about this platform is amazing, and we really like it, and it's worked very, very well for us. And one of the things I really enjoy about this is that it doesn't auto load to YouTube. So I download it, clip the front piece of it off, and then that way you have a better replay experience as well. So that dead air space, people would always be like, when is it going to start? Well, it starts as soon as we get past the dead air space. But we do that on purpose to give everybody a chance to come in. And so now, with the platform working the way that it does and not auto posting, I can clip that off. And so I think that's going to make a better experience for everybody. And by the way, speaking of experience, make sure that you keep your comments positive and that we do our best to be positive, encouraging to each other. And if there's something that you're frustrated about, there's places where you can talk about those frustrations, but let's keep them to a minimum. Now, having said that, we had an interesting experience last week, and what happened last week was that in the community, somebody asked a very legitimate question, and somebody made a negative comment, but the rest of you were so encouraging and so positive with that, and I really, really appreciate what you did, and that the person asked a very legitimate question, but it quickly kind of degenerated. And we don't, that's not who we are. That's not the people that we are. That's not who we want to be. And, we had, with the exception of one or two people, that was just a great, very supportive comment session, because there are times we have to remember this. We're on a technical platform. And because we're on a technical platform, going to be times when things are going to go wrong. There are going to be times when things are going to go down. And when they do, it's not because anybody got left or abandoned. I do multiple videos a week and I upload them to YouTube. And there have been times in the last 2 or 3 weeks when YouTube has kicked me out because they shut down. Even YouTube's had struggles. And so keep that in mind. Nobody's throwing rocks at YouTube because of a temporary hiccup there, and we're going to do the same thing. Okay, we're going to continue to support you, give you everything that you need in order for you to be successful, including this webinar, which we're going to get to right now. I want to talk about our guest feature. I mentioned this at the beginning of every webinar, and I want to remind you that we give you the opportunity to be featured as a power user, somebody who's using GIFsign or Usign in their business. And if you're using GIFsign or Usign to as a part of your business, part of your marketing, part of something that you sell to somebody else, something that you're doing that's helping to put money in your pocket, then we want to give you an opportunity to feature your work. I'm going to give you a video of the interview itself. And then we're also going to encourage you to nominate somebody. And we've had some nominations, and we have some people that we will have on. Joanna will join us very soon. And let's see, Joanna will be joining us very soon as a guest. Marcellus McMillan was supposed to be on today. We had, and I love this phrase, it came from the television show Forged in Fire. We had a catastrophic tech failure last night. We had two things that happened. We had a tech issue, and Eric had a tired issue. And so we were not able to get that finished last night. But we will, and we're scheduled to do that first thing on Monday, and we'll have the rest of the week to get that prepped. And hopefully I'll be able to get the other people in as well as quickly as possible. But last night was not a good recording night, and we were just not able to do that. So you'll enjoy Marcellus, you'll enjoy Joanna, two very, very delightful people, two people who I think bring a lot to our community, and you'll see both of them post frequently. So I'm looking forward to that. I really am. Now, let's talk about, I mentioned Marcellus, so let's talk about the next thing. We have an upgrade right now in GIFsign, which I think is an amazing upgrade. How many of you, let me know, say yes if you have have the current version 1.0.16. If you have the current version of GIFsign, let me know. Just put yes in the chat box there, because I want to know if you have that, if you're using it. That's just really, really cool. Many of you are saying that you do. The new upgrade to this allows us to do something which I think is pretty amazing. And this is something that has been asked for a little bit of time. It takes a little bit to work that into the system, and we now have it, and I think it's going to be really, really cool. And I'm going to show you something that I did yesterday in about 10 seconds, visiting with a potential client on the phone. And while we were talking, I was able to put that together, knock that out, and say like this. It's not perfect, but it was pretty amazing what we were able to do with that. So, yeah, some of you are brand new, and I'm really excited about brand new people, because you're getting a chance to jump in. Now, there'll be a little bit of a learning curve, but you're getting a chance to jump in. And we spend a little bit of time with GIFsign, but we'll jump in and we'll show you some things with it this week that I think are really, really cool. So something else came up from our community, and that was Derek had posted a question having to do with sizing issue with Usign, and having to do, great question, David, and we will definitely address that in a minute. Derek asked a question, and the question was having to do with the sizing with the Usign layout template and LinkedIn. And I had noticed about a week before he posted this that there was an issue with a couple of the images that I had posted. The good thing was they were just cropped too tight. Now, I had not put my text all the way across to the edges, and so I was okay. But because he asked that question, I went in and took a careful look at it, and we got a response back from LinkedIn. LinkedIn has an image handling issue. I'll say this. I love the platform. LinkedIn, used it a lot, built some pretty big insurance empires in the past from using LinkedIn. And so I think it's an amazing platform. But the way it handles images has been outdated for a long time. And they're in the process of upgrading that, and it's created some issues. And so when you have issues like this, it helped us to dig a little deeper, and LinkedIn's got an issue on their end, and so just be aware of that. Sometimes people think that it's Usign's issue, and it's not. Rarely, if ever, is it going to be on our end. We just take what we can get and we make it available in a layout format for you. But in this case, it's how they're handling the images. So. Okay, but that was a really, really good piece. That was a great use of the community. It was a great opportunity for you to be able to get an answer. We talk about prints every once in a while. This was a great print feature that came up, and this gentleman gave us the details of what he did here. Just go back and take a look at that. You want to talk about being inspired and finding places to do that. This is a great place. This is a great idea that he had, and so last week we talked about marketing, and it's a great idea. This came up last week, and I thought, man, that is just exactly what we're talking about. Okay, all right. Next thing. We're going to talk about being able to use these images, and the images are powerful. So we'll talk about the images today and what we can do with those. I was talking to a client who has a credit card processing system. And so what I did while we were talking, I said, you need something to be able to get people's attention because credit cards are a little boring, And so I, while we were talking, created this, and I did this with Usign and GIFsign. And I went to Usign, grabbed 4 images, and did this. Now, anything but perfect, but it got his attention, and I was able to do this in about 10 seconds while I'm talking to him on the phone. Downloaded the 4 images from inside of Usign, and then grabbed those 4 images and I loaded them up in GIFsign, and boom, we were done. Yes, you will always have to do the delete to re-download steps with GIFsign when you do the updates. And we've walked you through that process a couple of times. And if we need to do that again, we'd be more than glad to do that. Okay. So this was just a simple this was quick. It was down and dirty. It was easy. It was fast. I was able to do that on the phone. And I could do that while I was talking to him on the phone and not have to stop, create a video, do a video explanation of what my concept was or what my idea was. I could quickly bump that out in a GIFsign. I can drop that into the chat session in Facebook, and boom, you've got it. And so that was really good. And I've done that a couple of times. I'll show another one that I did while talking with the client at a different time. So the images, though, are going to be incredibly powerful. And I can't wait to show you how we can be able to take that, because the question got asked earlier, and I believe it was David that asked the question, why would you use GIFs? Well, there's lots and lots and lots of reasons to do that. I took you through a couple of weeks ago, and did a webinar on using GIFs on your WordPress website. And just a moment. We have We have 2 seasons in Alabama, football season and allergy season. Just so happens that they overlap each other. And I'm struggling with one of those right now. Looking forward to the other one tomorrow. But I took you through a process of um, um, how to use GIFs inside of your WordPress site and the value that that had as just a constant, a reminder there. Yes, I do use GIFs on Facebook pages. I use them for a number of things. And I think that, hey, Tyree, I'm glad to see you on. Um, and I think that there's some incredible value to using GIFs to do some things that you might not have thought of before. And I'll show you a couple of those in just a little bit, David. Okay? The next one is we're just going to get in. We're going to answer some questions about GIFsign today because I want to spend a little bit more time with it occasionally, not very often, but occasionally I want to do that. Today's going to be one of those days. I am also going to remind you I got the upgrade for Smart Mockups, and it had dropped the integration, and I don't know why. I don't know if it was unique to me or if it was whatever, but it had dropped the integration with Usign. So I just wanted to remind you to make sure that you do the Usign integration in Smart Mockups if you have that platform. I use it all the time. Many of the images that you see here come from using Smart Mockups. So just keep that in mind. If you are not seeing the Usign button over on the side, then you may want to do a new integration. It's not that they've dropped it; it's just that they needed to. In my case, I just needed to make sure that it was worked. Okay. Yes, I think the tutorial show how to integrate that. When I went in, I wasn't there anymore, and I thought, what happened? It's still there. It's not been dropped out. I just needed to do it again, and I'm not sure why, but I know they did go through an upgrade. So if something happens like that, always make sure that you dig in, and we'll try to remind you of it as well. I can't tell you off the top of my head, Linda, which date that was. I really don't know. I will drop it in the group if I remember. It has been since we've been on this demio platform, and I'll run back and take a look at that when we get finished. Remind me to do that, Gloria, when we debrief, okay? Then we want to talk about templateology. I want to do a couple of things today, and I want to mention a couple of those right here, okay? The first one is, I was telling you last week to take a look at the templates and use those to come up with ideas. And I got an idea just looking at the templates today, and I thought, man, this is something that we forget. Most of us are familiar with advertising on Facebook. Most of us understand the value of Facebook, but man, Pinterest has a huge following, and that huge following in Pinterest gives you a huge opportunity because Pinterest is highly visual. And because it's such a highly visual platform, a visual graphic program fits perfectly in what you can do helping people to grow their business using visual marketing on a platform like Pinterest. And I'm just amazed at how much traffic that it gets. I shouldn't be, but I am. But what I did was I looked at the templates and I got to looking at how many of these were pins. And then I looked over here and I went, wait a minute. This is pretty powerful. This template right here caught my attention. I will design a great Pinterest cover for only $5. You can do exactly the same thing to market your business. And you can promote that on Facebook. You can promote that on Twitter. You can promote that anywhere you want to, because this is an area that's not getting the attention that it could, and it's a place where you can really grow a business. Now look at a couple of things here. Right on top of that is the six-figure blogger. Well, guess what the six-figure blogger needs? They need somebody to market their blog on Pinterest. Bloggers are verbal people, you have the opportunity to be able to give them visual tools and promote that. Tell me if that helps you. Remember, we're using the templates to inspire us to do other things. That's the value of them, okay? The next one I want to talk about is we're going to talk about Pinterest itself. And I'm going to take you to the template platform, and we're going to take a look at some of the things that you can do with Pinterest. And I want to encourage you, look at this. This is, see, we can't think in silos. We have to think that everything's integrated and everything is connected. Now look at this. Right here are Pinterest pins. Do you see that? You've got a number of Pinterest pins right here. But the first one is about autism, but look at the next one. The next one's about Etsy. The next one's about Instagram. The next one's about Instagram. The next one's about photo images. The next one's about Etsy. And then I'm going to take the eighth one right there, and I'm going to talk about how we're going to play with it in our layout tool today. Okay? But again, keeping with our templeology that we're doing, I want to encourage you to think about, how do I expand my horizons and exactly see, if you're selling designs, you only have 3 things that you can do. All right, I'll give you this. This is free. You only have 3 things that you can do. The first one is you can sell new stuff to new people. The second thing is you can sell the same stuff to you can sell new stuff to new people. You can sell the same stuff to new people, or you can sell new stuff to existing people. And to take a business owner who has hired you to do a Facebook ad for them, okay, Stevens has a question. Help him with that. Glory, great. Thank you for that. But if you have existing clients and you can say, hey, have you thought about marketing on Pinterest? Let me help you with that. Instead of getting caught up in this, okay, Carol's asking a question about terms of service. That's an interesting question. If you are currently contracting people to do that, you've got that taken care of, and you want to make sure that you always operate within the terms of service. At Facebook, I'm a very white hat kind of a guy. Always want to make sure that you do white hat practices. Okay. All right. The next thing is we're going to take a look at Pinterest inside of the canvas, the layout canvas, and I'm going to show you a tool that we forget about, and that is the replace image tool. And we will pick up there. Okay, so I'll give you some other tips and tricks that go with that. By the way, this came from Smart Mockups. I just wanted to remind you of that, and so did our question logo here. Okay, all right. So with that all said, and all of that, I'm ready to go to the canvas, and we'll pick it up there. Let me make a change here. I'm going to share a different screen, and I will be right back. Before we do that, let's do this. I want to go over to GIF sign and do this before we go any further, okay? I want to pick up with the GIF sign comments that we did before, all right? Let's do this. All right, this is the GIF that I had made earlier and showed you in the video. Let me make sure that everything's showing up good. You can see my screen fine, right? You're seeing that my GIF sign screen? I got you, Carol. I got you. Yes. Yes, yes. The answer to your question, Carol, is yes. Make sure that you direct people to your website that has those terms of service and all of that kind of thing on it. That will be in your best interest. Always redirect people when you're promoting something um, on any platform. Always have that direct to a place where they can get access to your terms of service. That will be in your best interest. I think that'll help answer your question. Okay, now let's take a look at this. This is, I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to answer an earlier question that came up asking about why would you use a GIF. And so this is, I did this very, very quickly one day. Um, I had a guy on the phone. He was asking about um, funnels, about sales funnels. And so what I did while we were talking was my I opened up my sales funnel creator, and I created this very quickly. I just scrolled through this while we were talking on the phone, and I opened up my sales funnel. I scrolled through this, and then I was able to create this GIF in just a matter of seconds. And I created this GIF showing him how that sales funnel operated. And then I downloaded it. I grabbed that image, the .gif image, and I dropped it in the chat box in Facebook while we were on the phone. So he could take a look at it and go, oh, now I understand what you're talking about. So that was the thing I love about it is that the speed at which you can do that is amazing. And yes, I'm using a mock-up there, but that's just, this was amazing to me that I could do this while we're talking on the phone. I create lots and lots and lots of videos. I was talking with Gloria the other day, and I said I got over 350 videos I've created just explaining how to do something. They're 2-minute videos. They just explain how to do something. But in order to do that, I've got to shut everything down. I've got to get quiet. I've got to cut the video. Doing a GIF, I can just boom, knock that sucker out in no time. And so that one was created just simply using the screencast or screen capture version, which you have right here. I just opened this up and I recorded the screen to do that. Now you can upload images. Do you see the upload the images here? What I did in this case right here was while I'm talking, I went to Usign. I downloaded 4 images from Pixabay. They happened to have 4 images of a woman with a credit card, which was perfect for me. So I took that and I loaded those up, and there you go. Okay. Now, simple, took about 10 seconds to do it. Let me see if I can find the images, and I will show you how I did that. Here are the 4 images. So we'll start with this one because that's the first image. This is the second image, the third image, the fourth image. 4 images. I opened that up. See if we got questions here. All right, no questions? Okay, cool. All right, if you have questions, jump in there and ask the questions while we go. Now, I have this, okay? Notice down here I have 4 frames. I got 4 frames. When I preview this, the first thing I'm going to notice is this goes too fast. All right? So I go over here to my frame rate and I slow my frame rate down. Slow it down like that. Let's see, is this going to make more sense? Well, Pete, that's the reason why we do this. We want to get that from 10 hours to 10 seconds. We really do. I just grabbed 4 images, took those 4 images, loaded them up. Boom. There you go. Now, is it perfect? Nope, not necessarily. But do you see what it does? Let me ask you, does that get your attention? Could that be helpful? Let me know if you think that's helpful. Yeah, they were just 4 still images. I took 4 images, downloaded them from Pixabay, and grabbed those 4 images, and boom, there you go. Well, that's the first time you get a chance to see somebody all excited with a credit card in their hand. It's like, okay, cool. That works. Now let's go back out to the dashboard here. But you see how we do that? You can slow down or speed up the frame rate. I mean, if I speed it up, watch what happens. I've just got 4 images. Somebody asked the question, it would be nice if we could adjust the frame rate. Well, yeah, we can. That's how we do it right there. See, that's just way too fast. That's not going to work. Or I can slow it all the way down to 1. And when I slow it all the way down to 1, it gets too slow. And it loses the impact of a GIF, which the impact of a GIF is to grab your attention and to grab it quickly. See, that's a little slow. So, but you find a happy medium there, and then you can save it. And when you save it, you can go back out here, and you can put it in a mock-up or whatever you want to do. Okay, so that's that. Linda, it's 4 separate images. One of the images, her hands were raised up in the air. And see, that's the reason why it kind of looks like a video. And if you look at the one that Rose did, which was far more magical than mine, where she changed the color of each of the letters, and it made them look like they were lighting up, that was just amazing. She did an amazing job with that. Now, you can't do that in 10 seconds, obviously, but yes, you can do that, and it's pretty amazing what you can do with those images. All right. Yes, Rose makes awesome GIFs. She does. I want to make sure we're not missing anybody's question here. Yep, just 4 still images is all it took for me to do that. Now, a couple of these that aren't real easy for me to see because they start out in a funny place. But when you do this, can you imagine having this on your blog? Earlier question that was asked, why would you use a GIF? Imagine having this on your blog. If this is a video, you've got to start and stop it. Put it in a continuous loop. It's got to play inside of a player. If you do it as a GIF, it just sets some plays and it runs. And it will help convert and get more people included in the conversation. Or you can take that same GIF and you can put it in a mock-up and drop it inside of your WordPress site. Okay? Let me make sure I've got some questions while that's loading. Let's see. John, that's a great question. The answer is yes. And I have actually, I'll show you here just a second. I can't go all the way and show you that, but I have a very brief video, a very brief GIF that I created. I think it's still here somewhere. It may have be on a different platform, but yeah, I think it is. But I have a GIF that I created for might be this one right here. No, that's not it. I actually did I did a video with the owner of that company, and what we did was we put that GIF in an image that ran on a Facebook ad. And it was pretty cool. So I think that's the question that you're asking, but the answer to your question is yes. Now, yes, upload them in a specific order, and the way you do that is when you have to upload them all at the same time. So when I go over here like this, I click on this, open this up. It opens up this window. I had those all saved with the CC preface on them. So when I click on this, I don't know if you can see that window or not, but yes, when you hold down the Shift key, it allows you to select those in a particular order, and you want to get them in that particular order. All right, I'm looking here. How would you use GIFs if you have a t-shirt business? That's a good question. Okay, so let's do this just for fun, and I can I'll grab this. Let me switch screens for a second because I think you could do something really cool with this. All right, I'm going to share a different screen, and the screen I'm going to share is going to be my smart mockup screen. Because I just happen to know that it has a bunch of t-shirts on it right now. Remember that image that you just saw, by the way. And down here we have t-shirts. All right, now I can grab this t-shirt design. I can go to Usign, and I've got some t-shirt designs that are saved somewhere. Right there. Right there's one. Can you all see me? You're not seeing the window. Let's see. Yeah. All right, stick with me. I think I can see that you're seeing the window. All right. Let me see. Yes. Now, do you see a young man leaning up against the wall here with that t-shirt on? Okay, good. All right. Now, got a couple of options that I can do with that. I could make those in different colors. All right. They don't have the option of being able to do that, but I could make it in different colors, which you get the option of doing that with Usign. And when you do that, you could save that in 6 different colors. Exact same image, 6 different colors. Then you go to GIFsign, you load up those 6 images, and it would scroll through those images and give you what would appear to be a video presentation of those in a GIF, which you could use in Facebook ads or anywhere else. Does that make good sense to you, David? Do you understand what I'm talking about here? Just a great way to be able to use that tool. All right, I'm going to get to the Usign canvas now, okay? And if you have any questions while we're making the transition here, please feel free to ask. I don't want you to get lost in the shuffle. Okay? All right, now we're on the dashboard, and I had just simply gone here because I have the template club. I had gone over here to the template side, and I have the template club, and notice we're up to 3,136 templates. And by the way, David was appreciative of the fact that we have, our team has done a great job of being able to create these disaster relief images that could be used as well. So that's really good. Okay. And yes, you can use them on a Shopify store. You can use them in a number of places. I'm pretty convinced you can use them in a Shopify store. I have a couple of clients that use Shopify, and I give them GIFs, so I'm assuming that they're using them in the Shopify store. I don't have a Shopify store. I have used them on other e-com platforms, though. This is getting to be a very, very common platform. You may have to create an embed code, but you can do that. All right, any other questions? Cool. Let's get over here to this. So we've got what I did was I went up here to templates and I typed in Pinterest. And by typing in Pinterest, I was able to pull up everything that is tagged Pinterest from the template club. Some of these are pins. Some of them are advertisements in other formats. Okay. And so you've got all of these Pinterest positions. Now, I want to show you something. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to do an abbreviated version of this, okay? Because we're running out of time this morning. But I like to personalize my my images as much as possible, even if they're very, very faint. Okay, even if they're very faint. Yes, the GIFs are created in another platform called GIFZine. Glory, can you make sure that he has that that information about GIFZine so he'll know what to do? Amazing platform, which gets better all the time. All right, this is the image right here. Can you see the image in the background of this? All right. What I want to do is I want to change that image. I want to get rid of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little tool right here called Replace. And when I click on Replace, when I click on Replace right here, notice over here it says click on the image that you want. Well, I'm not on an image. So what I want to do instead is I want to go over here to my images. I'm going to grab this image that was my podcast platform. So I'm going to click on that image and notice it shows up here. All right. Not a very good size for this, but I'm going to resize it just a little bit so that it will work. But now what's happened is, I think I clicked off of that before. I did. Let's get rid of that image and this will make more sense. So I actually had the replace image will replace the existing image, but I think I clicked off of it. So that's what created my problem. Now, I reduced the opacity of this. Did that. And now it's personalized. Do you see what I'm doing here? It's personalized. The transparency option is amazing, but it doesn't look right. So what I want to do is I want to move this to the back. And when I do that, you notice what happens when you move it to the back? Now the transparency option really goes to work for you. But you can do that by using this replace tool. Now, I'm not on the image now, so I'm going to have a problem. I'm going to take this image, I'm going to move it to the top. Bring it all the way to the front. Make sure I'm on the image. Click the replace tool. Set that as a background. That's my problem. The replace tool, good question. The replace tool is right here on your toolbar. All right. So let me erase that. Let me do something a little different here. Now, if I want to replace that image, well, I'm not the first person to have this issue. When I click on that replace tool right there, do you notice this coming up over here? Click on the image that you want to replace this with, and then you click on the image. And it has moved it to the back and it's made it fully, but it's made it fully transparent. So I want to make sure that I reduce the transparency. I replaced the image where it was at. Are you all with me? Renee, that's a good question. I'm going to answer that in just a second. Yes, It gets rid of the existing image. It does not overlay it, which is very handy, and it's a time-saving issue, okay? In this particular case, when I clicked on the replace tool, it gave me the option of being able to replace. Now, what I can do is I can replace it like that and figure out whether that's going to work for me or not, okay? That one's not going to work, so I want to go back up here to this image because that works. Does that make sense? I will have to move it to the back. In this case, I'm going to have to move it all the way to the back, and I'm going to have to reduce the opacity of it. And that looks very similar. The difference, I'm not talking about posting on podcast. I didn't finish that text right there, so don't be confused by that. I'm not trying to show you how to write sales copy at this point in time. It does. It replaces the existing image with a new image instead of overlaying it, which is a huge time saver. It also gives you the ability to be able to take a look at that and figure out, hey, do I want to do something else with this? Do I want to how do I want to handle that? Okay. All right. What got replaced? Well, by this time I was replacing multiple things, but when I click on replace, it gives me the option to replace over here, and I can replace that with something else. See, it's replacing the image that I had clicked on. And I forgot to delete that one, but it replaces the image that I clicked on. All right. We'll move that to the back. Reduce the opacity. And then you have a Pinterest pin. Now, the question is, the bigger question here is, can that become clickable? The answer to that question is no. The image itself is not clickable, but the image saved as an image put into a website can then become clickable with a certain amount of coding that's put with it. Okay. Gloria said the HTML code that's put with it. We did have a promotion a while back for a product called, which I thought was an amazing product, called Let Clicks. There's a couple of others in the marketplace that do the same thing, but they make your Facebook post become clickable. It takes the image, it embeds a link to that image, so the image itself becomes clickable inside of Facebook. Okay, any other questions that we have here? All right, Gloria, there was an earlier question that was asked. I want to make sure that I answer it before we go. Can we remember that? Well, it depends on how you handle it, David. It seems to me like, and I've been doing it for a long time now and had great success. It's not necessarily against their policy. It just has to be done properly, and you have to make sure. I'm not a black hat guy. I'm not going to do something that's against somebody's terms of service. What happened was that people were posting to multiple platforms that way. Post to your own platform, and then you fix it. Okay. Linda, I won't be able to do that now while we're still doing this webinar. Tyree, I'll be glad to hook you up with that. We'll take care of you. Okay. I'll get you hooked up with that. Not a problem. But yes, as long as you're posting to your own stuff, you don't have issues. What happens is people try to post to other places and they'll get tagged for it. And that's where the problem comes from. And as soon as I say that, Facebook will change the policy. I know that. So don't take my word as gospel. Don't do that. Just understand that if it's done properly and inside of the terms of service with Facebook, at this point in time, you're not having any issue. It may change tomorrow, but but that doesn't mean that that's where it's at right now. Okay, so the question was asked about t-shirts earlier. So let me get to let me do something with t-shirts here for just a second, because I love the topic of t-shirts. But there's something that I want you to see about t-shirts. Okay, I'll scroll down here to t-shirts, and they're under prints. If you look under prints, this is where people get messed up, as they forget to look under prints. They're looking in the template section for t-shirts, but it is under prints and it's under t-shirt, Teespring shirt. Okay, so let me just grab one of these. All right, I'll use this one. And we can do something really cool with this. All right. Go over here and make sure I've done this on this platform. Right here, right here. All right, here's the t-shirt design, okay? Now I can do what we were talking about earlier. I can take this and I can do multiple colors of this, like this, like this, and I can save each one of these. And by saving each one of these, then I could put those in a GIF. I can save them in order and put them in a GIF. So let's go back over here, and I want to show you something. This is the t-shirt design, okay? Y'all with me? When you go up here, custom sizes, that will automatically be saved. If you save it as a t-shirt design, it'll be saved as 300 DPI. If you don't save it as a t-shirt design, it'll be saved at 72. So you want to make sure that you save it as a t-shirt design, because that will give you a higher resolution, which is important for you to have when you're sending it to a third-party process, which was the question that you asked originally, David. Yes, you can change the color of the text. I can go here. I can do whatever I want to do with the text. I've got colors here that I can do. I can have colors that I have saved, and I can change those colors. I can add elements to those colors. I can put a shadow on, or an outline on it. I can put a shadow on it. And when I do that, it still shows up in the design. See? It's still there. So you can do that. You can do all of those things with it. Let me see. Got a bunch of questions going on real quickly here. Okay, so that's what you can change any of these elements that you want to change here. Now, let me do something that I think is really cool. Okay, this got asked the other day, and it was, how do you select all of the elements? Hold down your shift key, drag right here. Now I can delete all of those. Okay, that question comes up a lot, and it was asked in the group just the other day. How do I do that? So let me make a custom size here. I'm going to show you something really cool before we leave. We'll take this design right here. I'm going to grab 3 shirts. So now I have 3 shirts. I'll take these 3 shirts. I can jack around with them. I can make them look really cool. But for right now, I'm going to do this as quick and as simple as I know how. All right. Grab that, and I'm going to tilt that just a little bit that way. Then grab this one, tilt it just a little bit that way. I'm going to take the one that's in the back, and I'm going to move it. That doesn't seem like it's the right size. There we go. I'll take the one in the back, and I'm going to move it to the front. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my graphics. I'm going to grab some emoticons, and I'm going to do this, this, and this. All right, let's take this one first, and we'll put it on this shirt. We'll take this one, and we'll take this one. Okay? Are you with me? Now I can get people to vote. Now I can get people to vote. Does that make good sense? Gloria, did you get Dale's request taken care of there, please? He wants the link for GIF sign so he can get it. And then David's asking for a link to the template club. And John, the sessions are always recorded. It just takes a little while for us to get them up. Okay? So not only can you create the shirts, not only can you create the designs that you want, but you can take those designs and you can do something as simple as this. You know, you'd probably want to do something with your background and put something really cool on for your background. And I like really cool backgrounds like that. And then you've got a way to get people to vote on your shirt. You know, otherwise you're just guessing. And when you're doing a print on demand, that's the best way to do it right there. That makes it work like magic. Okay? Let's see here. Anything else? Does that help you, David? Yep, instant survey results. When we added the emoticons, this instantly became a survey tool, an amazing survey tool. Yeah, I agree with you, Jan. Use a different emoticon. There's there's 6 available. Use a different one. I just picked those 3 because they were across the top. Very good tip, though. Yes, thank you. Good tip. All right. Anything else today? You're exactly right. The GIFs are not clickable. We clickable things inside of a GIF just starts and stops as a GIF. So in anything that plays a GIF sign. So you have to keep that in mind. As everything, there are limitations, but there's also great ways to get around those limitations. Vincent asked a great question. He just bought Usign. And he's asking what part of this is a part of the package. Everything I just showed you is all included. The great thing about Usign, and I know several people mentioned that when we had the question got posed the other day, several people mentioned the fact that you get what you get is you get everything. You'll pay extra for the template club, and the template club is the best money you'll ever spend. But everything to make the tool work comes when you buy it. Gloria, do you have a link there for the template club? Because people are asking. It is an upgrade, and what is the cost of that, Gloria? What's the current cost of it? Because we've lowered the cost. It's amazing. I'm sorry. We just want to make sure everybody gets their questions answered. What I do when we finish this webinar, so you'll know, is that as soon as it's available, I download it and then I clip the front half of it off, the front noise off of it, the dead airspace, and then load that as quickly as I can to YouTube. And if you've subscribed to the YouTube channel, you'll get access to it. If not, I'm watching the questions. If you're not subscribed, then always by Monday or Tuesday, Rose has got that in the support page. Okay. If not, she has it in the support page, and those all go to this. By the way, Vincent, those all go to exactly the same place. All right, all of those links go to exactly the same place. So nothing's changed. Gloria and I we're not trying to. This is not our stuff. This is all Usign stuff. So they all go to the same place. Yes, the amazing thing about the Template Club is that if you buy it today, you get everything that's been posted there up to date. Good question. All right, what we do is we'll get this up as quickly as we can. Gloria will get it in the support, or I'm sorry, Rose will get it in the support page as soon as she's available. I'll have this up as soon as I can. And David, honestly, go back and take a look at that one that I did on how to use it inside of WordPress, because I think that'll be helpful, and I will find that and I'll post it in the group. Okay, because I want everybody to be able to see it. I'll post it in the Usigners group so that you all get a chance to see it. But I'll post that there because between that day that we spent talking about using it on your WordPress site and some other places, and what Rose has done, Rose has written some excellent articles on the blog about that. And Jay, that's a good question. That's on the agenda. One of the things that I want to do is about cinemagraphs. We've done a little bit of it. We haven't done very much, but we've done a little tiny bit of it. But I thought that this still image thing was so cool. I wanted to spend more time with it right now. But that's a good question about the cinemagraphs. And if you have an e-com store that's WordPress based, it will be perfect. And yes, you do. You have to have an account to get the mockups on GIFsign. All right, amazing webinar today, guys. Because of you, you're the ones who make it amazing. Hopefully, I've answered your questions as we've gone. We will take note of that. We usually go back and go through that. And make sure that we haven't missed anything or that we did address those things. So thank you again. Thank you so much. You make our webinars amazing. Yes, you definitely use your own still images. Because like I said, those that I pulled were just off of Pixabay. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I always leave the chat session on for a little while. So if you've missed something, you can go back and scroll through it and find it. But usually within 5 minutes, I shut that off. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time, your attention, your questions, everything that you do. You make this amazing. Have a great weekend. I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Same time, same place as always.